Hey guys, I am here with a review of Lego City Space Set 60434. This is Space Base and Rocket Launch Pad. Comes with 1,422 regular pieces. This is one of the largest, or I believe it is the largest, of the City Space sets. At least it is for this kind of colorful in space mini alien with the crystals sets. At least according to Brickset, many of the older city space sets are also of the same faction and also have the airlock piece. So the box is rather big, but it is also wide and tall without being too thick. Of course, as usual, shows some of the play features. Boxes no longer show different alternative builds. It did retail for $134.99 US dollars, so right around the 10-cent per piece range. I have the extra pieces in my hand, so let's look at those first. We do have some nice ones. Printed numpad is one of my favorites. We also have a black visor, the only city space set coming with a black visor. And we also have an extra printed battery, and I think that's it for the printed sets, printed parts, but we also have a needle, a clear visor, an extra gold pauldron, epaulets, sorry, is what I believe they're called. We also had wands, so we do have the wand holders, and we also have the alien feet, which can also be used for flowers. So really not bad. Oh yes, printed amoeba piece. We have an extra one of those as well. And before we get to the figures and the set, there are a lot of instruction booklets here. This is not juniorized, but it is printed to be easy for younger kids. One thing about my slightly OCD nature is that the instruction booklets are not size ordered. So book 1 is small with the truck, 2 figures, and the alien habitat. But then the next smallest book tied for it is 8-9 with the shuttle, and then 10 for the ramp. Finally, by the largest book, which is 2 through 7 for the main base. There are very few stickers. Almost all of them are on the main base. The 4 large ones are. And then there are 2 others, I believe, also on the main base, and then this caution, which we'll find that. Okay, so for the minifigures, one thing that I will say is it's kind of nice to not have so many blue minifigures. This set may have the smallest ratio of blue minifigures. Do I like the blue minifigures? Yes. Are they my favorite? Probably. Then why am I happy that they didn't come so heavily in the set? The blue are clearly the pilots here, and it wouldn't make so much sense for a real-life space expedition of this sort to have so many pilots. But okay. So the yellow are the kind of engineers or drillers, and the green are the research, looks like, research wing. So we have this guy with a, I'm not quite sure why he has this dark helmet when all the rest have the yellow helmet, but he also has a nice drill arm and a big pack, as the other yellow drill engineer does. Then for the green research engineers, they are lightly equipped, as you could imagine. There's a older lady here, and then a man with a smirk and a goatee. He has a small solar cell with a metal detector, and we have the aforementioned pilot with a backpack but no piece attached to it, and this nice spaceman visor. Okay, they are all kind of spaceman helmets, but I like the variety. Then we come to the special minifigure in this set. We did not until now have a kind of leader or captain. This one clearly seems to be the leader. He has some kind of a baton and the epaulets, as I mentioned. He also has a unique torso that the others do not have. The others have the same torso with different arms. He has a unique torso and unique printing and gold printing. Now, that being said, I want to point out, as far as I know, this is the only other character of this space wave to have two different colored arms. So perhaps he is second in command, because there is gold also on him, and also the previously mentioned helmet difference. So perhaps he is next in line, or maybe he just has a fake arm. I'm not sure. And we have two of the aliens, which seems rather small, given that this is one of the few true ground bases. And for such a large set, would have appreciated if they could include a few more heads. I like putting the alien heads on other figures' bodies. I think that's fun. And we have a little rover robot here. I think the green here is symbolizing that it's more for research and picking things up. In some of the other sets, the driller robots had yellow. So I didn't realize until this set that the robots have also been kind of designated by color. The alien habitat is rather simple. It looks like this is an interesting primordial pool of life, which does not roll off the tongue so easily. And there is a kind of breakaway feature here that broke apart very cleanly and stayed there. For the purple crystal, then this might be the first indication that I've noticed that these pink-like crystal or pink-like energy packs might be plant-based, so they might be more renewable, perhaps is what they're leading on to. I think the crystals are very nice because they remind me of Aquanauts in the 90s, which were released with crystals, and I forgot to mention there is a teal piece puller. The truck is rather simplistic with a flatbed. I think the truck is, they're either trying to make it look too modern or didn't care how it looks. I think it's rather ugly. I also wish the battery pack was a little more prominent. I know there's no reason to flash off where the battery pack is, but it just seems a little strange where the battery pack is located as a kind of license plate. It does have lights, but again, they're also a little concealed. I think this is meant to hold one of these or the rocket, but it doesn't fit so nicely. This definitely doesn't. And for the plane can fit, but it's very kind of cumbersome. Then we have the spaceship or rocket, which the cat wants to enjoy. And we have a small research place here. So the research area does have some cordon off plates, but it attaches here. And with this attached, the shuttle looks acceptable. With it off, it doesn't look good, so I would have rather preferred they just didn't include it at all. Would be my, or they would have designed it in a way that perhaps the booster connects to the end and the rocket would look good with or without it. That would have been my preference here. And the cockpit is nice. There are 2 battery packs here. I do like the way that they did the battery packs to be held in by the cockpit. That's rather interesting. The angle of I think that this shuttle is quite interesting how they did some of these angles to fit around this device, but at the same time, it doesn't look quite as nice as I think it could. I don't mind this kind of M look, hump, 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 but it just doesn't look quite as nice as I would hope. For the launch pad, the launch pad has one of the mixed batteries, pink and purple, and interestingly enough, a ramp here, and then some nice decorations. A cat that wants to play with the decorations. It's also a bit strange. It looks nice with the tiles, and I also like the blue, blue, white. But I'm also wondering why they have these seats here. Perhaps that's to hold the shuttle a bit. Does kind of work, or I suppose that is the point of it. With or without the cargo, it will hold the shuttle on the boosters. And then finally we have the main part. Let me try and get this as you stare at the cat. So for the main part, we have the control tower with the antenna and the aforementioned wands. This lifts up to show the inside of the control tower, which has 2 control panels and 2 stickers. Here are the stickers, which are kind of nice. That one shows them talking to the space station, which was a really excellent set. This one shows them, the I don't know if it's this shuttle or a different shuttle communicating. And then on the inside here, well, let's first take a look at the habitat. They have both a crystal and a pink habitat on the crane, and on the crane, which has the yellow sticker that I was wondering about. The crane is really interesting that it's 4 tiles thick, and it really does look like a heavy-duty crane. It's the first time I've really seen Lego, maybe the first time in a town set that I've seen Lego really aggressively try to make a heavy-duty crane. Maybe they do it in some of the construction sets that I just don't have. It's interesting that they lift up the entire habitat, though, rather than just attaching it to a crystal or so. And as for the crane itself, it's also rather interesting how it swivels, because they could have made the base swivel. It's mostly tiles, but there are a few studs, and it connects to those few studs. They could have had the entire thing swivel, but instead they decided to have just this middle portion, which is more appropriate, but not quite sure why they went halfway to make this entire thing possibly swivel. The crane has a lift here, and I also want to point out that they really gave a massive amount of rope, and this gray rope is kind of new to me. I haven't seen it. It's very thick, kind of nylon based, very strong. And this is held on with some studs, but also with this pin. So it works, it's nice. And I also like these cockpit pieces used, because now we get a lot of these, which didn't originally. To my recollection, it first came out with Clone Wars on Grievous's ship. Then for the base, it looks like this is atmospheric, we can just call it air conditioning, but maybe not just cooling the air, but really conditioning the air to filter it out. We also have an interesting door here, not quite a airlock of sorts, and I was missing one triangle piece, but still a door that it's nice and has a play feature. They also have the space logo, and it shouldn't require too much energy, so it looks like just one purple energy pack. These are interesting in that the four are designed basically the same and rotate in a similar way. This is where the large stickers are used. It looks good, but they do move rather easily. Not the biggest problem in the world, of course. And then we have another, this is an attachment point for more of those pods. So this opens up using clips, just some standard clips. And here you can see those very large stickers. Here's a microscope with a magenta piece, perhaps part of the crystal. Here you can see that both the plant, the pink plant and the purple crystal turn to energy. Here it shows some of the vital signs. So this is a kind of health area. There's a printed piece with the hospital sign or first aid sign and one of the yellow needles. And then here we have a body armor area. I put one of the green body armors here. We do have windows on the back side, a few. And on the other side, get that crane out of the way. On the other side, we have more stickers. So here are stickers of, looks like music. It's a music symbol over there. And this is a cafeteria, and it looks like the aliens cook burgers. This looks like hot and cold water dispensers. So it's a nice little base. It doesn't have a lot of room inside, but definitely all these figures can fit inside, and it is an interesting base. I think maybe a larger satellite dish, or there's always improvements that can be made, but this is really a wonderful set in a really fantastic set range. So it really is at least a 4. I think a good 4.5 also seems very reasonable. I don't know if this is the best in the range or not. I'm going to have to probably think about that, and maybe I'll do a separate video about the entire range, although I'm still missing one set. But I think it deserves a 4.5. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.